Hello Home Slices, it's Kiera with Home Slice Adulting coming to you with another catch-up video for the Real Housewives episode that aired last Sunday. For those of you who don't know, I was out of the country over this past weekend and I just got back yesterday, so I didn't have time or the ability to watch the show. So now I'm playing catch up so that I won't fall behind with my reviews. So this is going to be my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta season number 1, episode 11. So let's go ahead and get started. So we start off with Portia. She is inviting Kim over to her house for a meal that will be prepared with the help of a vegetarian chef or plant-based chef. Her name is Chef Gully. Cause she gully, I don't know. But anyways, Portia clearly needs somebody to film with, and Kim is willing to film with her at this point. And it's like somewhere along the line, the situation between Portia and Kim is gonna go sour because everybody's relationship with Kim goes sour at some point. But moving on, Portia is planning a dinner with the other ladies, but surprise, it's gonna be a vegan dinner, and because the other women are like meat eaters, they're probably gonna, peep it. They're probably gonna figure out at some point that it's vegan, but maybe not. There's probably something that'll be so good that they won't even recognize. So whatever. We'll see how that goes. It's probably not going to go well. But moving on, they talk about Houston, and Portia talks about how Kenya acted. And, Kim is just not here for Kenya. She still thinks that Kenya is faking regarding her marriage. And Portia was like, Kenya, ever since she got married, has been kind of playing nice this season. But then the old Kenya came out back in Houston. So, yeah, that's that. Moving on. So next we're going to talk about Cynthia. Cynthia is making sushi because Will is coming over. And I think it's cool because at first I was like, Cynthia know how to make sushi. But it turns out that she doesn't. She was just doing it as like a little fun activity, which is cool. Will comes over and they start having, relationship talk. Are we dating each other exclusively? What is your dating situation? Should we date other people? And Will is like, yeah, we should date other people. We found out later why he thinks that they should date other people. But then it gets confusing. He says right now he doesn't have a boo, and the whole sushi thing doesn't work out, so they get some of the store-bought sushi that Cynthia got, and they eat that out on her patio. And I like that she has the little glass panels on her patio. It's very nice. Cynthia's house is pretty nice. And Will says that, at this point in my life, I'm about to be 42. I want to focus on you. And he doesn't like that she's on a dating website. But in the kitchen, let me take these off. In the kitchen, didn't you just tell her that you think that they should date other people? I'm very confused. But it's one of those things that men have. Like, a man feels like, oh, I can date around. I can do this. But, you're a woman. You can't do that. But whatever. Cynthia is just worried that she won't get her, little hoe phase out because she hasn't been able to date around because she likes Will so much. But that's going to change by the end of this episode. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And he's like, get it out of your system before, we try to have a relationship or whatever. And it's like, Will, have you gotten it out of your system? Not according to Miss Eva. Now, speaking of Miss Eva, next we see Nene Leakes having a lunch with her. This scene was very boring to me, but apparently Eva was dating a guy who was running for the mayor at that time. Now, I heard that there was some drama going on with the mayor of Atlanta, and I think that the mayor is a woman, so clearly he lost. Eva is pregnant right now, too. I'm assuming by the same guy, Michael Sterling. But the whole scene was very boring. It was a very boring introduction to Eva, and she doesn't get interesting until later. Now, what I'm saying is, we all knew that Eva was going to be on this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but it's episode 11. We wait to episode 11, and interestingly enough, Eva brings more drama in episode 11 in 5 minutes than all the girls had brought basically the whole season. That's not cool. But moving on, yeah, they should have introduced Eva much earlier. They could have thrown away some of these episodes and cut the season down to less than 30 episodes, which is it's almost always like 25 to 30 episodes, including a 3 or 4 part reunion. But moving on, we'll talk about Kenya. Now, Kenya is buying a birthday gift for her hubby, and it is some workout equipment. Since getting married, Kenya just doesn't have time for the BS anymore. Just don't have time. And it's like, am I the only person who was tired of the Kenya talking about her marriage? I'm so over it. I'm very over it. I understand that getting married is a major life event, and it can make you reevaluate some things, but the way that Kenya talks about her marriage, like almost like, what the heck is Kenya talking about? She was like, well, being a girlfriend is very different from being a wife. Now, granted, I have only been a girlfriend. I have never been married. I've never been a wife. So I cannot honestly say that being a wife is different than being a girlfriend. But the difference is that she was contrasting from just being a girlfriend versus being a wife didn't make no sense. When she was like, well, I have to make sure that the house is clean. Do you not make sure the house is clean when you're single? I have to walk the dogs. Do you not walk the dogs when you're single? I have to make sure my husband likes the walk. What is she talking about? He gonna get mad that you walk the dogs? What the heck? The dog's been there longer than he been there. And they done pissed all over your wedding dress. Y'all, let me pose a hypothetical question. Do you think, let's say Mark, Kenya's husband, didn't like dogs. Do you think that Kenya would get rid of her dogs to shore up her marriage with Mark? Let me know in the comments below if you think that Kenya, or maybe I can put a poll up. I'm not exactly sure how the polls work. You know, the polls that come on the side of the screen over here. I don't know if that will work. But if you think that Kenya would give up her dogs so that her marriage could be okay, you can vote in the poll if I'm able to put it up. But if not, then you can put it down in the comment section below. But moving on, I just felt like the stuff that Kenya was talking about, I feel like she kept interrupting her cousin when her cousin was trying to give her some good advice. Kenya was basically saying that she is assuming that her husband, that she's only known and been married to for not even a year yet, will want her to take care of the kids of herself as opposed to getting them a nanny. And it's like, Kenya, shut up. I'm tired of you talking about your husband. Get another storyline, honey. And like, why are you giving us a storyline that we can't even see? Why should we care about a husband that we first off don't necessarily know that he exists? I believe that she's married, but clearly some people don't. And why should we care about him when you haven't even let your friends see him? I mean, we don't have to care about a storyline that's like all theoretical. Now, moving on, I'm over that. Let's talk about the best part of the episode. So we see that Candy is planning her, Essence cover release party. Karma is helping with the party, even though she has her own business now with the party planning. And Candy wants Portia to be invited to basically show her what winning looks like. And it's like, I'm tired of Candy's private moments being either about Block and Riley or talking about Portia. I'm just over it. I really wish that her and her friends would get over what Portia, I'm not necessarily saying get over what Portia did, but stop giving, I won't even say they're giving Portia power, but stop using Portia's name to like, I feel like this isn't coming out right. I would like it if they learned to ignore Portia as opposed to bringing her up in every episode to kind of like tear her down. I'm a little annoyed by that, and I wish they would find something else to talk about. Don Juan is afraid that inviting Portia is going to give her the wrong idea about them trying to mend their friendship. But just stop talking about Portia, dang it. Now, moving on, let's talk about the party for the Essence cover. The Essence cover is pretty. I feel, though, I was saying that during the photo shoot, because we saw the photo shoot earlier this season in one of the episodes, that I didn't like the clothing that they were putting her in. And I actually liked the dress that Candy wore to the cover release party more than the one that was actually on the cover of Essence. I felt like it was edgier and things like that. But moving on. Portia shows up to the party and it's a big deal and they need to get over that. Cynthia and Will show up and there's a bunch of the who's who in Atlanta that come out there to support or to get, free drinks and food. Candy shows up. Portia is very awkward, but she plays nice, which I think is good on Portia. I mean, we know that there's nothing that Portia can do to make up for the damage that she's done to Candy's reputation or to their friendship. But Portia playing nice is the best thing that Portia can do at this point. Now, Kenya shows up and Nene and Eva are, pulling up in the car with the professional house husband Greg as their driver. Shout out to Forest Rocks. But during this time, they're having a conversation where where Eva says that she and her beau, Michael, met Will and his girlfriend recently, just within the past couple of months. The timeline is fuzzy, but Nene says that, Will and Cynthia have been dating for a few months now. Now, Will starts digging a hole for himself. Cynthia explicitly asks him how long he's been single, and he says 2.5 years. Now, Peter shows up at the party, and Cynthia didn't realize that he was going to be there. It creates an awkward situation. Peter has a confessional, y'all. I still don't like that. Why? He's not married to anybody on the show anymore. Peter does not need a confessional. Again, word on the street is that he has a show coming out. I won't be watching. I severely dislike Peter. I don't like Peter. I have never liked Peter. I will never like Peter. It's not going to happen. Moving on. Y'all, when Ty got on that stage, and the first thing that he said is that Kim and Croy are here. Portia Williams is here. Is it Portia Stewart? No, Portia Williams. Yeah. Portia Williams is here. And even though these girls have basically dragged my wife through the mud, it just shows what great person she is that she invited them here today. And it's like, oh, come on. Even Candy was like, what the heck is going on right now? Like, when you have a party for your wife, the focus needs to be on your wife. And by including the fact that Kim and Portia have not always gotten along with Candy, it takes the focus off of Candy and puts it on this beef that they've had before. I feel like Todd did a stupid thing. What the heck, Todd? He got that out of the Mariah book of shadiness. Y'all know Mariah from Married to Medicine? But moving on. I felt like Todd was so stupid for that. But then Candy gets up there and does something similar, but doesn't call names, basically wants to thank her haters for motivating her to do blah, 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 blah. And so, what's-his-face, Don Juan announces that, Candy has just been booked to play Mama Morton on Broadway. Now, look, I have not seen Chicago in any form, not on Broadway, not even the movie. I know in the movie, Queen Latifah played Mama Morton. And because Queen Latifah played Mama Morton, I'm having a hard time figuring out who Mama Morton should look like in my head. But to me, it's not Candy. Just saying. But moving on. The mess about Will has a girlfriend. All that mess comes out that Eva told Nene in the car. And Nene tells the girls first instead of going straight to Cynthia. Why she do that? Because Kenya runs with that information and tells Cynthia right away. So now Nene has to run out behind Kenya and Cynthia to make sure that they're all there. And Cynthia, for the first time, is receptive about, anything going on with Will, any advice regarding Will. And the fact that it's somebody that she only kind of knows in passing, like there's no reason for Eva to lie. And so Yeah. And what is Carmen doing? Carmen out there being messy. Moving on, they all go outside. Kenya pulls Will to the side, and tells him what's been going on. Then he brings Cynthia. Then she brings Cynthia over. They talk. Then Eva comes over, and Will claimed apparently on social media that he knew Eva and that he had been campaigning with them all day. So apparently he was being like a little attention whore, trying to name drop and whatnot on social media. So Eva didn't like that. So maybe Eva does have a reason to lie, but I don't think she would. Now the cameras are catching Will in a few lies, and it's like that editor is no good. It's shady as crap. And he was saying how he was single, and he said the things that Eva said was a lie, and they caught him in a few lies. Will starts getting mad at Eva and becoming a little bit aggressive because they pulled his card. There has to be some type of truth to it. Then he starts speaking gibberish to Eva. I'm like, what? And he was like, well, it's perfect, and it hurt my feelings because things were perfect, and now you're showing me that I have to be a perfect gentleman and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? He's not even forming his words correctly. Now, Sheree gets mad that she missed all the tea. She don't have no bones to carry this time around, but that's good for her. I don't like Sheree. Portia knows something too, because Cynthia's like, well, if you go out with somebody and you see the guy that I'm dating has a girlfriend, you should let me know. Well, Portia said, well, since you asked. Cynthia was like, Portia, you know something too. And I was like, if Portia knew something, why didn't she say something? But here's the deal. Portia already knows that her credibility is kind of shot because of the situation that happened with Candy. Also because of some of the things that Portia has said have not been substantiated. Like when she said Peter was sleeping around with some of the waitresses at Bar 1. So, we're going to hear what Portia has to say this next time. And apparently it's so bad that she starts crying. So we'll see what that happens next time. And for the first time in a little while, I'm actually very interested to see the next episode. So, just poor Cynthia, y'all. I feel so bad for Cynthia. She just don't want to be played, and it look like she getting played in front of her friends on national TV. It's so unfortunate. But let's talk about what happens next time. Now, Cynthia, again, was very upset by whatever tea Portia spilled, and we're going to see the aftermath of that. Then we see Mama Joyce having a conversation with Portia and having a sit-down, which looks totally unnecessary. But because Mama Joyce knows that she's older and nobody's going to be, super duper disrespectful to her, I feel like she feels that she can do what she wants to do, essentially. Mama Joyce continues to insert herself in situations she don't need to just insert herself in on behalf of her daughter. But that's the thing about Candy. Other people do her dirty work for her. But moving on, Cynthia and Peter have a talk, and apparently they're not friends, and that bothers Cynthia. I don't understand why she would want to be friends with Peter anyway. Moving on, Marlo asks if Kim can go on a real trip with the black girls. I thought that was so funny, but it is interesting how Kim always finds an excuse to not go with her black friends on a trip. Well, Kim can't be, has an umbilical cord tied to all 6 of her children, apparently, and to Croy, since she can never find time to go on a trip. And apparently something happens with Kim, y'all. So, I guess her excuse this time may be valid, or it may be stupid. I don't know. But you guys, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I enjoy really doing these videos and watching these videos. And I like to watch the TV show, get my reviews out, and then watch the reviews of other YouTubers like Forrest Rocks, James Caldwell, Bondi Blue, Mr. Still Standing. So check those 4 people out if you guys do not know who they are or don't watch the reviews as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and peace out, home slices.